Thank you for taking the time to learn more about your child's elementary standards-based report card. The purpose of this screencast is to help give parents and guardians information about the report card that goes home with all of our students in grades 1 through 4. My name is Zach Wadaker. I'm the Director of Curriculum and Instruction for Elementary Education at Falmouth Public Schools. For those of you who have students in the upper grades, the upper elementary grades, you're going to notice a difference of our elementary report card for this school year. Last year, we engaged in a report card revision process for our report cards in kindergarten all the way up to grade 6. On the screen right now, we have a timeline of the process that we went through. Last October, we established the committee, which was comprised of district administrators and teachers from each of our 4 elementary schools and the Morse Pond School. Throughout November and December, the group worked together to look at other examples of report cards from neighboring school districts and also to develop surveys that were created specifically for families and a survey that was specifically created for faculty. And the purpose for the surveys was to help us gain some information about what people look for in a report card. In a few slides, we'll talk about some of the results of the report card that helped us make the decisions that we made when we were revising our work. After the surveys were sent out to families, we started composing and creating our report card. And it was very important for us that our report cards were scaffolded, meaning that it had a natural progression from grade 1 to grade 2 to grade 3. And that it was designed in a systematic way. In September of this school year, we shared our report card with the grade level leaders who represent each of their schools. In October, all of our 1 to 4 staff at the professional development day learned more about the report cards. And then we're implementing starting this December. So let's talk a little bit about those surveys. First was the family survey that we sent out. It was developed in November of 2015, and then in December we sent it to families electronically. We had 236 responses representing families from first grade all the way up to 6th grade, and they provided us with really valuable information to help us move forward. The complete versions of the survey results are actually available on the Falmouth Public Schools website under the curriculum and instruction page. So we're going to go over a few of the questions and responses on this screencast, but if you did want to see more of the questions that were asked and more of the results, you can find that again on the Falmouth Public Schools website, and at the end of this presentation I will show you how you can access that. One of the questions that we asked families was about the comment section of the report card, and we asked if the comment sections, if parents and guardians liked that section. And overwhelmingly, we found out both through the quantitative questions, but also the comments and feedback at the end of the survey, we found out that really the comments section provided parents with much more information, I think, than we even thought. So you can see we had over 95% of parents surveyed indicated that the report card comments was something that they liked. And almost equally as notable is that they said, not only is it important, but it helps me understand my child's progress. So we knew based on this information that the comment section was going to be an area that we were going to want to look at closely. In addition, we asked if the previous report card was easy to understand. We saw that the majority of people, the majority of respondents agreed positively that the report card was easy for us to understand. We did see that there was some room for improvement, though, so some of the changes we made reflect our need to make the report card easier to understand. In addition, we asked if the previous report card clearly described the child's progress. Again, the majority of respondents responded positively that yes, they felt like the report card accurately described their child's progress. But then again, like I said in the previous slide, we noticed there was room for improvement. Just slightly over a quarter of respondents to the survey disagreed that the report card clearly described their child's progress. So we knew we had to do some rewriting of the standards on the report card. So that way we can provide families with a valuable tool that they think describes their child's progress. For those of you who are new to a standards-based report card, I want to talk very briefly about the differences between a traditional report card. By traditional, I mean a report card that many families or many parents probably went to school with, and a standards-based report card, which is extremely common now in 2016 and 2017. A traditional report card is based on an average of the grades that a child receives over the course of a term. So, for example, you might have 5 math tests over the course of the year. The teacher would average those 5 math tests, and that would become your grade. It's percentage-based. Typically an A minus, an A, or an A plus was anywhere between 90 and 100 percentage points. On a standards-based report card, we look at what's called in-time scoring. In other words, we don't look at an average for the term, but instead we hope to report to parents where that child is as of the last day of the term. We acknowledge and understand that it takes elementary students different amounts of time to master skills, and we don't feel like a report card should reflect a lower score just because it may have taken a student a longer amount of time to master a skill. Instead, we feel like the report card should tell parents, as of the day they receive that report card, where is my child today, not how they performed all year. It's performance-based instead of percentage-based. On a traditional report card, you would receive 1 grade per content area. So you would receive 1 grade for math, 1 grade for English language arts or reading, 1 grade for science, 1 grade for social studies, etc. In a standards-based report card, we look at standards grades. So you may have multiple grades for math. You may have a number sense grade, and you may have a geometry grade. And the reason we do that is because we know math, there are many different components or domains to math. And again, in order to provide parents and guardians with the most accurate information, we need to break that down into various standards and learning objectives. So this does give you more to look at on the report card, but it provides increased information, which is really important to us. The traditional report card had limited identification of areas for growth. Because it was based on an average, and because it was just typically 1 grade per content area, it's hard to identify specific areas for growth. On a standards-based report card, because we do grade, we break down our content area into different standards, you can see specific information relative to where students need to grow. You may see a student who, even within math, is strong in one area, but has areas for growth in another area, even within mathematics. So that's a little bit about the differences in scoring. A report card reports on 5 different sections. First 2 are related to social skills and work habits. Our social skills talk about students' behavior, how they interact with their peers, how they interact with adults. Our work habits talk about students' persistence and their completion of tasks. Specialist grades are next on the report card, and those are the grades for art, music, physical education, and library and technology. So students receive 1 grade in each of those areas. 4th section of the report card are the academic grades. So those are the grades for mathematics and the substandards within mathematics, the grades for English language arts and literacy and their substandards, and also history, social sciences, and science and technology engineering. And also the comments section. And you're going to notice on this year's report card, the comments section looks a little different, and that was based on the feedback that we received in our surveys. Our prior report card graded on a scale of 4, 3, 2, 1. In some of the feedback that we received from families, there was confusion because each number, for example, the number 4, could mean something in one area but mean something different in another area. So for example, term progress, a student could receive a 4, which meant consistently exceeding the academic objectives. But in effort, a 4 means consistently demonstrating effort and work. So we just felt that we wanted to streamline all of those ratings so that way, no matter what section you're looking at, A 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1 all has their own specific designation. In addition, on the previous report card, again, you can see the ratings has different terminology. So depending where you were looking on the report card, the 4, the 3, the 2, and the 1 could have different meaning. This year with our report card, we have streamlined the information so there's only one key. A 4 would mean that the student exceeds the expectations independently. And that's really important, that independently piece, that they're showing the ability to exceed above grade level on their own. A 3 is what we hope to be, meeting expectations. A 3 means that they have either mastered that skill for the year or they are exactly where they need to be and they are on track to meet that expectation by the end of the year. So they're exactly where they need to be. A 2 would mean approaching expectations with support. So this would likely mean that the teacher has a certain expectation of where students are at this point in the term, and this child needs additional support. They're not quite there yet. And 1, on the other hand, would mean that there's significant gaps in this child's ability compared to what the expectation is for this end of the term. Students who receive a 1 or a 2, that would indicate to parents that this is an area for growth. This is an area where you may want to reach out to the teacher and ask, what can I do to support my child in these areas? A 3 and a 4 would be areas where students are making appropriate progress. In some instances, you will see an NA on the report card. That's because not all of our learning standards are taught throughout the entire year, specifically in areas like science and technology engineering and history and social sciences. So it's not appropriate to score things on the report card that have not yet been taught, and that's what an NA would signify. An M would also be indicated on the report card if a child is on an individualized education program or an IEP, and they work at different standards or work towards different standards than that are measured differently than those being measured on this report card. So let's look at the different sections of the report card. First is the social skills section. You'll see that we have 6 different standards or objectives that we would be assessing on this report card. And this is consistent through grades 1 through 4. These don't change from grade to grade. Now, the criteria may change. For example, that first bullet follows classroom rules and routines, but we would have different expectations for a 4th grade student than we would for a 1st grade student. However, we thought it was important to keep these consistent for parents as a child progresses through their elementary schooling. What you'll notice is at the bottom of the social skills box, there is a box for the teacher to add comments specifically about social skills. These boxes are optional for the teacher. They don't need to fill them out for every student. However, if there was something that the teacher wanted to specifically call out to parents about social skills, it would be marked in this box. The next section of the report card is work habits, and this is about the student's ability and their determination and how are they as a learner? Are they taking responsibility? Are they completing activities? Are they engaged? In other words, are they participating and asking questions and contributing to classroom discussion? Are they completing their homework? Again, like the social skills section of the report card, we have a box for comments. So if the teacher wanted to call out anything specific about work habits, they can do so in that box. Here we have our specialist selection for the report card. So as we mentioned, a student will receive a grade for art, music, physical education, and library, and they will also receive an effort grade. We're in the process of looking at this section of the report card, and there may be some shifts and adjustments as we move forward to, again, like our previous, as we talked about previously, in breaking down each subject area a little more, we're going to look at that and see if there's more information we can provide to families moving forward. But for this year, it's going to stay consistent as it had last year. And then we have our academics. The academic sections do change from grade level to grade level. So first grade's academic sections will look different than second grade and third grade and fourth grade and so on. As you can see, We've greatly reduced the number of grades that are on the report card. In the previous report card under mathematics, a child may have received 8 or 9 or 10 grades based on the different standards. Based on the feedback that we received from parents and from teachers, we thought we needed to limit the number of grades we gave, so that way, number one, it wasn't so overwhelming to families, but also so we can show larger areas where a student needs help. You'll notice, for example, in that first box, it says operations and algebraic thinking. Well, that's just one area of mathematics. The box underneath it tells parents, well, what do we mean by operations and algebraic thinking? And then we tell you, what are we looking for when we talk about that? And this changes from grade level to grade level. Now, these bullets don't tell you everything that we're looking for in that area, but the report card group worked really hard to call out the most important or the most vital skills that fall within each area. This section, the academic section, follows a similar pattern as or similar structure as the social skills and work habits. And you can see there's a separate comment box for each of the academic areas. So if the teacher chooses to call out any specific comments specific to mathematics, it would go right in that box there. Again, the feedback we received from families was that the comment section is what helped provide them with a lot of information, so we wanted to reflect that in our new report card. The structure for the English language arts, the history and social sciences, and the science and technology engineering sections of the report card are the same, with the various standards broken down, bullets underneath each of those sections, and then an area for effort and for comments. We spend a lot of time working on report cards, both designing them, but then also the amount of time that teachers put into completing them. It takes a lot because there's a lot of information that we want to report to you. Our hope is that by having a report card, we can have increased communication between the school and our families. It's important to us that we can communicate to you areas of strength for your children and also areas for growth. Our hope is that we can be transparent and consistent. We hope that what we're teaching in the classroom accurately reflects what's on the report card. And we also hope that we can provide you, again, with clear information. And then our hope is that our information can be detailed for the purpose of improved learning. Our goal is to help students learn, and we feel like our report card is just one way that we can help speed up academic growth and to help students narrow any achievement gaps that they may have in different areas. There's much more information about our elementary standards-based report cards that can be found on the Falmouth Public Schools website. On the website, we have templates of each of our report cards from kindergarten all the way up through grade 6. We also have a brochure that goes with our standards-based report card that gives a lot of the same information that I gave in this screencast, but also some other information. And also on the report card section of the Falmouth Public Schools website is the survey results that I referenced earlier. There's one survey for families and one survey for faculty and staff. So if you have additional questions or if you're curious, I encourage you to look at this section of the website for more information. That's the end of our screencast today, and I want to thank you for taking the time to participate and to learn more about the report cards that we use in the school district. As we proceed throughout the school year, we're going to look at this tool, and at the end of the year, we'll determine if this report card was a success or if we do need to make any minor tweaks. So it's always a work in progress, and we're always working hard to develop these tools that will help families and help our teachers. And at the end of the day, the most important part is to help our students. So thank you for participating. As always, if you have any specific questions, reach out to your child's teacher or your building principal, and they can help you interpret this report card and answer any questions.